Hello, hello, my international people. This is Louise Uwachu reporting or hosting. Hosting live from Vancouver, not reporting anything. I did not go anywhere to find this out. We are in studio recording. Now, this is Thursday, October 4th, 2012. It's election time in the United States this year, and it's crazy. There was a debate last night between Obama and Romney. I must confess, I did not watch. Yeah, I want to hear it from the guest. I want to hear the difference between Obama and Romney. I did not watch the debate. I don't want to be biased because I already have my preconceived ideas. So I don't want the debate to unbalance me any more than I already am. Oh my God. I personally think that America should take a chill time right now and not even have a president because all the presidents they've had lately have been so bad. Why not take a break? And this is not my original idea. I heard it from a comedian, Cat Williams. All right, so let's bring in our guest and get to finding out what are the differences, if there are any difference between the two presidential candidates in the American elections in 2012. Good evening, Mr. Nielsen.
I taught the history and philosophy of religion in a non-church, non-state university, and my wife is a European. I think the American elections tell some very interesting things about culture in the United States. The North Americans from the United States boast, of course, that we have no state church, and we have no state church. The traditions are in the pattern of the Enlightenment. Both Romney and Obama are graduates of Harvard University. They both went to the law school, so they have very much in common. They're also not quite standard brand. The reason is that Romney is a Mormon. That's an American sect that was persecuted for a half century or more. And then we have our first Afro-American president. So, and he's a convert to Christianity. His mother was an agnostic. So these are men with different kind of cultural traditions, both highly educated, both religious people, believing at the same time in tolerance and in pluralism. And
I see. And let's, Professor Nelson, let's tell the people who you are yourself.
I'm Nelson Nielsen. I did my graduate work at Yale and then moved to Texas to teach in a major non-state university. And they hired me at Rice University in Houston because they said they wanted some religion in the school, but they didn't want any fundamentalism. So I've done world religions as well. I have a volume on the religions of the world. I spent some time in China and in Russia, so I know the variety of religions there as well as in other parts of the world. And my approach is not missionary. My approach is academic. I think religion is something that the Americans would like to keep in the background of their religion. We are a religious folk with, of course, a whole plurality of nationalities now. It's said that 76% of Americans pray, and what we've tried to do here, I think, is not freedom from religion, but freedom for religion. what makes religion so vital in the United States is it doesn't come from above. One doesn't have to have it, but it takes a plurality of forms. And, if we brought a man in from Mars and we wanted to explain what was going in our part of North America, then we'd have to explain why the animals pray and believe in God, and a whole variety of cultural patterns.
I see. Now, is it important that your president believes in something?
Well, our president is a convert to Christianity. His mother was a skeptic, a sociologist. He was a social worker after he'd been to graduate school in Chicago, and he found no anchor. He had no place for his soul, and he affiliated with a very active, democratically minded church there. And I think he's genuinely and sincerely religious. Doesn't solve all his problems, but he's not a hypocrite about that. And Romney, of course, belongs to this very interesting American group, the Mormons. The question is whether they're Christian or not. Well, it was frontier religion in the early part of the 19th century, and the Mormons took part of Christianity and part of their founder, Joseph Smith, and are a kind of a subset. So religious freedom, I think, is illustrated by the men who are running against themselves, running against each other now for the presidency.
Mm-hmm. So you think that the fact that a Mormon is running against a Christian, that's religious freedom it symbolizes religious freedom in America?
Yeah, there's lots of intermarriage between Protestants and Catholics, and we have what we call civil religion, which is belief in God, freedom, and life after death. The majority, virtually all of our presidents have subscribed to it in one way or another. So, here we say we won't pay any attention to it, but we have this whole business with the Muslim world now that's turning everything upside down. And if you don't know anything about Islam, you probably shouldn't be dealing with international relations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So how is it going to change from one candidate from Obama to Romney, or from Romney to Obama, in terms of dealing with the rest of the world out there, within your experience with the Muslim world and China and Russia?
Yeah, well, America was a country. America, talk like somebody from the South here. The United States was a country that was isolated from world politics throughout most of the 19th century. The Americans, the early American, the people in this part of the world held slaves. Wilberforce had long since eliminated slavery from England, and America, these people here had their own problems to solve. We had a terrible civil war, 600,000 people killed in it, and Lincoln, of course, is a great hero president. But now, with the advent of two world wars, fought in connection with Europeans and the rest of the world, with television, with modern transportation and communication, we're a different kind of thing than people were in the 19th or the 20th century.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of, you told me that you have grandchildren, what kind of world do you think they're going to inherit? And, has religion really made a difference?
Oh, yes. I mean, we take them to church. America, our country here is 35-40% actual church attendance every week. Religion has great diversity here. but it has popular participation. And when you get to what Americans believe, I'm sorry, I'm talking to Canadians. I generally talk to my wife's an Austrian, but faith in God is here. I think it takes a different form in the United States because the United States never went through the agony of two world wars to the extent that my European friends did.
Mm-hmm.
There's a larger sense of tragedy, I think, in the people that passed through two world wars. Now we share a common culture and we share common dangers, I think, which is the danger of atomic warfare. That's what makes international relations so dangerous and makes the office of someone like president much more powerful.
Mm-hmm. So, who would you want to trust with the presidency?
Well, I trust both of them.
Mm-hmm.
I both think they're both people of integrity. Romney has come from the business world. I think if we're honest about it all, he's been a ruthless businessman, but a very successful businessman. His church gives him plenty of idealism. He takes it seriously. He's been a bishop in his church. That doesn't explain all of his life by any means, but I don't think he's a thug. I think he says his prayers. Obama has a different kind of perspective, but they're both, from my point of view, liberal conservatives.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that there'll be a great difference in the first, this is a dangerous thing I'm saying, first couple of years. They'll be doing the same sort of things, but with theme and variation. But
now, is being a businessman compatible with being a Christian, like you were saying?
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All people in our country believe that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This is a country of free private enterprise, and the Americans obviously, let's say Americans includes others, believe that God is blessing their country, that God is taking care of their country, that they should seek to obey God's law. I think this is something you learn when you get in a pattern in a community in the United States very quickly.
Mm-hmm. So it's allowed to accumulate capital as a Christian, even though you may be accumulating capital while empowering other people?
Well, you don't have to make other people poor to get rich. This is something that I and my wife talk about often, but people here don't see why. If you keep God's law and lead a decent life, then there's no reason why you won't have blessings. You'll be more successful. You'll be more happy. I certainly believe that. If you follow God's law, and if you don't want to follow God's law, you can at least have a decent sort of morality. And much of the morality in this country comes with religious views and religious patterns.
I see. Now, what kind of morality is it to always want to go to war, and what does it say about America having been in so many wars in the previous century and being the empire that has so many military bases around the world?
Well, unfortunately, I think most of my fellow citizens would agree that we have problems of world order. And some wars have been unnecessary. I think they're virtually all sinful and wicked, but that doesn't get away from the fact that we have to protect our country, that if we want order in the world, then some source of military might is involved there, and North Americans. I'll say North Americans, but I mean military power has been used for very bad purposes. But I don't see any way of avoiding having it.
Mhm.
You know, pacifism, I think, is a great and admirable position. But we do have to have policemen at the door. I wish that was all the trouble it was.
But isn't that in conflict with Christianity and what Christianity preaches? Because it preaches that if someone does something wrong to you, if someone slaps you on the left, you should actually give them your right. So the pacifism is not starting war. Now, starting war is like another level beyond what Christianity really says.
Well, it's not. You don't have to go far into Christianity to talk about two kingdoms. Mm-hmm. I live in both the kingdom of this world, which is a sinful place. I aspire to live and do live in the kingdom of God, and this has been the way tradition has been, at least from the time of Augustine. We don't live in the kingdom of God alone. We live in a sinful world, and we have to have locks on our doors. Obviously, I think anyone who's sane looks for putting a damper on wars. This is the great problem of our time, whether we can see peace in our time. But Christianity, at least, like most religions, has had to have some kind of political force and political power, and I don't see why it's sinful to be either a soldier or a policeman.
Mhm. Yeah. So, how do you see the relationships between America and the Muslim world in the future if Romney is president and if Obama is president?
Well, Obama knows more about it, and Obama, of course, is falsely. He lived in a Muslim country, Indonesia, and people say he's a Muslim. He isn't. He has a birth certificate that shows he's a Christian in Honolulu. But in my own home community of Houston, we've just dedicated a new Muslim center. Everybody was out there, the Jews, the Episcopals, the Catholics, the Methodists like myself, shaking hands, blessing them. Come, let's live together as brethren, and we are. And I think understanding between world religions is one of the great tasks of our time. Religions have promoted war from time to time. Religion can be a terrible thing. The world would be better off without it. But it also is a glorious thing because I believe it's from God. And this is... I've been to the Vatican and talked to the people there that do Muslim relations. This is something that the world will have to learn or destroy itself. And I think there are lots of, if you look in the communities in which I live, who are the people that are doing most to help the poor, the unselfish kind of thing, to work for peace, if you please. These are not the unbelievers. These are the people of various religious groups. My religious community, we go and share Ramadan with the Muslim brethren. And I think this is God's will that religions live together in peace.
Mhm. And what about Romney? If Romney is president, how is the relationship going to be with the rest of the world?
Well, he's to the right of Obama, but people say things when they electioneer. I think he's a very shrewd and decently ethical person. He says he wants to go a little more with the Chinese and make them pay a little more money. And, we certainly have a problem with Iran. Iran is the one theocracy that's left in the world. It's a very violent country. It shoots anybody who dissents there. And then there are wonderful people working for peace and brotherhood and understanding. I've taught world religions to undergraduates who know nothing about it. You don't know your own religion until you know another religion. So I've had great fulfillment personally in introducing Christians to Islam and some Muslims that study with us to Christianity. And I think the net result is positive and not negative.
Mm-hmm.
But there are fundamentalists in every religion. What's going on in the world is all religions are in revival. And this means that there's some religious fanaticism that's pretty awful. And there's some sainthood and brotherhood that's very wonderful.
I see. So, what do you know about the Mormons, Romney's religion? What exactly is it?
Well, it comes in the period. It's a product of the Enlightenment, of course. American religion is a product of the Enlightenment. What happened in Europe was the churches found themselves in antithesis to the Enlightenment and religious freedom. In America, Enlightenment has been the normative kind of thing with religious freedom. Smith thought he had revelations. He was martyred finally for his beliefs. The question is whether it's Christian or not. It takes the Hebrew Christian scriptures and uses them, and then adds to it the Book of Mormon and some other things. One of its problems, of course, was that Smith practiced polygamy. He had about 70 wives, and so the rest of the Protestants shot him while he was in jail. Brigham Young is the St. Paul of Mormonism. It's sociologically a sectarian religion. Polygamy is long since gone. It's Puritan. It has different notions of life after death. It's a very interesting kind of group. Does missionary work, has its own subculture. Americans have been very critical of it, but now it's nobody's bothering about the fact. I think that the candidate's a Mormon. It haunted earlier. You couldn't get elected earlier if you were a Catholic. That's long since gone, or a black. That's long since gone. And a Mormon.
What does it mean that a religion is a sectarian? What does that mean?
Well, it's made up of a tight group of believers with strong regulations and convictions. Mormons have a strong family ethic. They tithe. They're Puritans in some respects, and they have their in-group, and there's the out-group beside. But it has the largest religious university in America now, near Salt Lake City. The Mormons are good friends and great fellow citizens, and there is the United States pattern in religion with common belief in God and freedom and life after death, and Mormons share that, and they're out to convert the rest of the world, but they don't do it much harm, really.
Mm-hmm. Now, is it necessary to convert people to your religion, whatever your religion may be?
No, I wouldn't say that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my particular denomination is fairly easy come, easy go compared to the Mormons. It's not a tight sectarian group. There's a great deal of intermarriage and shift of denominations in the United States, and there's almost indifferentism. There is indifferentism at times, but this is a pluralistic religious culture. If you want to know what I think about it, only God can convert someone anyhow. Should one bear witness to his belief in God? Sure. If you ask me if I believe in God, I certainly do. Do I believe in life after death? Certainly do. I won't spend my time sending you to hell. We have a whole bunch of fundamentalists. Fundamentalism is a business in world religions. It's in Islam, it's in Judaism. I've written a book about it, God, Fundamentalism, and World Religions. And it's an anti-scientific movement. And it's certainly here in the United States with great power. And they've fought the Mormons for a long time. Now the fundamentalists, Christian fundamentalists, going to temple in Salt Lake City and saying how much we love each other. And we probably do. But some religions are much more missionary-minded than others. Judaism, for example, is not a very missionary-minded religion. It's been persecuted too often. But my line would be that, an educated person has to know something about world religions. Buddhism is a wonderful religion. And then we have persecution of religion. Was in Russia, is now to a certain extent in China. But, the world has just grown small, and religion is like death and taxes. It's going to be here, whether we like it or not. Mm-hmm. So I might as well know something about it and treat it positively.
Mm-hmm. So you said something about education. These two candidates have a similar education. Both of them went to Harvard.
That's Harvard Law School.
Yeah.
Obama has a good liberal education. Occidental and Columbia were his schools. Romney went to Stanford, but he went back to Brigham Young, which is their school, the Mormon school. But I don't think there's religious fanaticism there.
Mm-hmm. I'm speaking in terms of education. When two people have received the same education, is there really going to be any difference in their way of solving problems?
Well, 20 or 30%. Politics make strange bedfellows. I won't put it in writing, but I will. Romney certainly has tried to cultivate the religious right, what we call the Tea Party group, and then Obama has been more involved in a more open church situation, but I think that no matter who is elected president has the problem of Iran. He has the problem of America's relation with the Chinese and the Russians and the way they're making trouble in the Middle East. Romney is probably a bit more militaristic. He's a very sane, a very shrewd man. I would place them way ahead of Bush, the predecessor. They're both very competent men, and either one can turn out to be quite good presidents. As for presidents, we've had everything. We've had very very competent people. We've had very incompetent people. These are both competent people.
Do you have to have a president all the time? Can't you take a break sometimes? I heard this idea from a comedian.
Yeah, it isn't the kind of ministerial situation we have in Great Britain or in Canada. It's a tradition of the division of powers between the legislative, the executive, and the judiciary, and that's very important in the United States. Supreme Court has a lot of power and kept Al Gore from becoming president. The Constitution, the Mormons believe, of course, it was given by God. I don't think so. There was a lot of controversy about it. It was given to keep the state from becoming too powerful. They were in revolt against King George, of course, who wasn't a very sane sovereign anyhow, part of the problem. But it's a workable pattern of government, and I don't think that people in the United States would want to change it. It's one of the problems we have in our country, of course, is that the rich are becoming richer and the poor are becoming poorer.
Yeah.
And this is one point, of course, in which Obama is more on the side of the poor. And Romney, of course, is a self-made businessman. And I'm not sure how much he understands the poor, but I don't think that's fair to say that he doesn't. I don't think it's the form of government that matters so much. It matters, of course, how you constitute the judiciary or how you constitute the legislative. But I think it's trying to make this form of government work, and there is too much class division emerging in American society, and something has to be done about that, I think.
Mhm. Well, that's really nice, and we're coming to the end of our interview. Do you have something that you would like to add? I mean, what would you advise voters out there in terms of being educated in knowing the difference between the candidates so they can choose wisely? Well, what is the last thing that you would say to advise people?
Well, I believe in democracy. Americans believe in democracy. I believe in democracy and in the God of Christianity. And it's a very dangerous world. And Abraham Lincoln was right. Government of the people, by the people, and for the people. We believe in that. But the Americans certainly are very proud and arrogant and sinful at times. But I think the world has to live with democracy and tolerance, and I think both. It's not a bad deal.
It's a win-win situation. Are you saying that whoever wins that's good for America?
I don't fear either one of them. I think Romney will moderate some of the things that he says, and he's more militaristic than Obama. But the president can handle maybe has 20% freedom. The rest of it is all set. And the country's going to recover no matter who is elected president fairly soon. And the president, there are great limitations on presidents and their power. But if we can make it through the arms race by the mercies of God and maybe some wisdom of men, I'm very hopeful. If some fool gets his hands on that atomic button, then I think we'll go into a dark ages.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Professor Nielsen, for coming on the show and trying to explain some of that to us.
I enjoyed talking with you.
All right. So we will keep in touch and tell
My
people
book
your
is
book.
my
Yes,
book
tell
is
people
on
about your book
Amazon.
and tell them where they can find it.
You just go on Amazon and look under Nielsen. I
Yes.
have one 2012 on this election, and my longer book is God in the Obama era,
Mhm.
in which I compare all the presidents with Obama.
Mhm. That's very interesting. And what's this I hear that they are kind of related anyways. He is related to some past presidents.
Oh, well, the American presidency has its tradition. George Washington, believed in religious freedom. We're in a tradition of Martin Luther King, who was not president, and Abraham Lincoln, Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, Franklin Roosevelt, and certainly Franklin Roosevelt is one that we've shared with the rest of the world.
Mhm. All right then. Thank you very much for being here. People can find your book, 2012 Presidential Election, Harvard versus Harvard,
Yeah,
Religious Side Winds.
yeah, that brings it up to date.
Yes. All
You've been
right.
very generous in drawing me out. I appreciate it.
I tried.
Yes,
I,
you did well.
I'm always very interested in learning from everyone.
It makes the world easier if we can.
Yes. So I appreciate what you have taught tonight. Have a good evening.
One reason I'm a Christian is I recognize the problem of evil. That seems to me where we live.
Mhm. All right.
Thank you so
So
much.
have a great evening. Thanks.
Right.
Bye.
Good night.
All right, my international people. Well, thank you for being with us. I don't know if you understand yet differences between Obama and Romney, but yeah, if you're American and you're voting, apparently, according to Professor Nielsen, you have a great deal. What can I say to that? Apparently, you have a great deal, you know? Yeah. So choose between nice and nice. And good luck to the rest of the world. Obviously, apparently, it's not really going to make a difference between who rules and who doesn't to the rest of the world. But one of them is a little bit more militaristic, which is weird because when you think about people always are under this idea that Romney is militaristic and Obama is not militaristic. But in reality, Obama is the one who has been bombing Libya. Yeah, we're not going to forget about that. Never. Yeah, so when you're the one who's been bombing and you still pass off as the peaceful one, it's kind of nice, it's kind of nice. People are still thinking, oh, he's the peaceful one. He's the one who is a suspected Muslim. So the world will be better off with him. And the other one, oh. Anyways, I'm just glad that I'm not the one making these choices. Um, and I'm still supporting freedom. Yeah, I'm still supporting freedom. It's not on the ballot. You can't vote for freedom or not, and everyone is supporting freedom. So be careful if you're trying to take away other people's freedoms, because then you have everybody against you. And some nations are trying to take away other people's freedoms, other nations' freedoms. So, All right, my international people. Thank you for being with us. We have a great, interesting, more shows coming up in the next weeks, and we will get to the bottom of this. Yes, definitely promise you that we will get to the bottom of all these issues that are going on currently out there because that's our job, man. That's our job. What else are you here to do? We have no choice. Otherwise, we're ignorant, and ignorance is not bliss. I don't know where you heard what you heard, where you heard it. Ignorance is not bliss, man. Ignorance is ugly, 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 so ugly. All right, so I wish you light. Have a good night. Mugire Imana. Muramuke.